Hello all, I hope everyone's doing well. Here's my part 2 of the follow-up to War and the Bible. And in this particular video, I want to address something that a lot of non-biblical believers say. And it certainly does relate to the war that's talked about in the last 2 videos. It relates more to the last one than the one before, which all of these things will be linked in each other's descriptions, all these videos. So anyway, you know, when Joshua was sent in and Moses was sent in, and I'm not sure if how many were given this specific instruction to kill everyone in an enemy nation when they were sent to go to war against them. But they were instructed to kill everything and everyone, every man, woman, and child, and to kill all the animals, burn the cities to the ground, destroy everything except for the gold and the silver and, you know, other metals. They were instructed for those to go in the temple treasury, you know, in the temple of Yahweh, his treasury. So I've heard atheists say, and I've seen atheists say that, and I'm quoting here, that, quote, if God is real, he has a lot to answer for because of all the murder that he committed or was committed in his name in the Old Testament, end quote. Okay, so that being said, I'm gonna diverge here, and it's gonna make sense when I get through. You know, I'm gonna make the connection. But let's just say that money was not an issue. Alright, in my last video I mentioned how my house is in deteriorating condition. You know, I have water issues, mold and mildew and stuff like that. So what my plan is to tear it down and to build something else, okay? Not gonna get into any details about my hopes and dreams, because, you know, I've got a champagne dream on a beer budget, to use one of the world's euphemisms. Actually, probably a better euphemism would have been, I've got steak dreams on a peanut butter budget. But there's a way for it to happen, and, you know, Yahweh has already shown me the way. I've just got to wait and see if I'm obedient enough for him to make it come and pass. You know, if it's in his will or not. It may not be his will. He may point me somewhere else entirely. But anyway, back on point. Let's say that money wasn't an issue. You know, I had enough money to tear it down and build whatever I wanted to build. Well, there are a lot of people that think that my idea of tearing this house down is foolish. Oh, it's foolish for you to tear that house down. You should just fix it. The people that say that don't know what's wrong with the house. So, you know, just pretend that you don't know all of what's wrong with the house. Which, I mean, I guess you're not pretending, you really don't. But they say for me to tear that house down is a foolish thing. I should just fix it. And then it'll be livable, and I won't spend as much money fixing it and stuff like, which I would spend more trying to fix it than I will by tearing it down and building something else. It's just in that bad a shape. So I go on and tear it down. Well, they think I'm foolish for tearing it down. Alright, and then I build something else, and for whatever reason, you know, the builders did something wrong, or I changed my mind about the type of building I wanted, or whatever. But I've got a brand new building sitting here that I'm not satisfied with. So I called the builder up. I say, you know what? I don't like what y'all have done. And I know you did what I said. Here's your money. I'm paying for that. Now, come back and tear it down and put this building up. People would think I had lost my ever-loving mind. They were talking about how stupid I am and stuff like that. And how by me tearing it down, I was wrong for tearing it down or something like that. Let me ask you this. Whose house is it? It's mine, right? Alright? The new building that goes up, the builder's paid for it, the land is paid for. You know, I don't owe anybody any money on any of it. And I decide I don't like it, so I want to tear it down. Brand new building. Ain't even started moving into it yet. I want to tear it down and build something else. Whose building is it? It's mine, right? So who can say anything? Nobody. Now, well, actually, Yahweh could say something. And no, I don't have any intentions of tearing a brand new building down. So let's go and get that qualification thrown out there. But I said that, or explained that, to explain this. Who created you? Who created me? Who created this computer that you're watching the video on right now? Who created the camera that I'm recording the video with right now? Yahweh did. Everything in all of creation and outside of creation belongs to Him. Period. Now, He has set certain rules in place and, you know, made certain decrees and whatnot, and because of His righteousness, He can't violate His decrees. But all of His decrees were set forth before He created the first angel. All of His decrees were set forth before He created the first molecule of the universe. Because He did create it, He called it out of existence. Alright? So, if He decided right this second to blink all of creation out of existence, who would have a right to complain or say that He had done something wrong? Nobody. Because it, aside from the fact that it's all His, as in His possession, as in He owns it, you know, title and deed, creation, Yahweh, you know, belongs to Yahweh, period. No one can say anything. He can do what He wants. Alright? So, for just a moment, set the whole title and deed and ownership concept aside. Whose authority is above Yahweh's? No one's. His authority is so absolute that He said, light be. And remember, light didn't exist when He said that. And His authority is so absolute that light existed once He gave the command. Now here's another one for you. He created light, and light was in the universe before He created the sun, the moon, and the stars. Because remember, Genesis chapter 1, in the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth, right? So, heavens, that would be space. The earth, that would be matter, all right? Well, it also says in the beginning. So, in the beginning, He created time first. God created the heavens, there's space, and the earth, there's matter. And then what happens? It says, and God said, light be. Uh-oh. Wait a minute. So we got time, space, matter, and light. Still no stars. That is because His authority is so absolute. Sorry about the scratching. I've got dry skin under my mustache right up here. And I scratch without even thinking about it. Apologies if it's rude of me to do that. So, as far as Him commanding all these people to be destroyed, or wiping all life on earth out with the flood, you know, with Noah's flood, the great flood, however you refer to it, who can say anything? Because aside from the fact that He just simply owns it all, you know, every molecule of creation belongs to Him. Every soul, every life in existence belongs to Him. You know, and the truth is even the condemned souls belong to Him. Otherwise, He wouldn't have the authority to tell them that they're condemned. You know, it's just like going to a judge. You know, judge, this person wronged me in this way. Take slander and libel, for example. You know, there are actually judgments against people for slander and libel and, you know, theft of intellectual property and stuff like that. And those are things that aren't tangible. You can't put your hands on them. They're conceptual things, right? And judges on earth, at least here in the United States, have the authority to take tangible money from one person and give it to another one because of a conceptual mistreatment. You know, Your Honor, this person stole this intellectual property that belongs to me. Here's the proof that it belonged to me, and here's the proof that they have stolen it and whatnot. Okay? All that stuff is conceptual. So the judge decides, well, because of this theft, you know, the damages that you've caused this other person over here are, you know, X amount, so you pay that person that much, right? And if things are properly pursued, if that person doesn't pay it, they can wind up losing a lot more than just the judgment amount, you know, to the point of going to jail. So conceptually, on earth, we have essentially the same type of system. You know, with judges having the authority to do stuff like that. And, you know, there are different levels of the court system and whatnot, but all this really irrelevant, you know. So anybody that wants to fuss about how Yahweh has done wrong by killing all these people that are His enemy, you know, and how do we know that they are His enemy? We know that they are His enemy because they don't serve Him. They serve the devil. You know, how do we know that they serve the devil? Because He's given us a written set of instructions. And they're easy to understand. They're easy to follow. They're actually easier to follow than they are to understand. Because once you understand it, the only thing you have to do is just walk it out. Not complicated. So, anyway, I'm going to close this one out here. I've been getting longer and longer winded in my videos. If you have any questions, feel free to put them in the comments, and I or someone will do our best to answer your questions. And remember, keep the comments respectful. No name calling or ugly, disparaging comments towards other people or anything like that, you know. And otherwise, I hope that everyone is doing well. I hope that everyone continues to do well, and those who aren't doing well, I hope things get better for you. If there's anything I can do to help, you know, post a comment. We'll figure out how to get in touch with each other, since YouTube has done away with messaging because people didn't really use it. Actually, I think what I'll do is I'll set me up another email account that I can make public. But aside from that, you know, remember Acts chapter 17 verses 10 and 11, 2 Timothy chapter 2 verse 15, Proverbs 18:13, and Proverbs 18:21. I hope to see you all in the kingdom of heaven. Yahweh bless.